All right, let's do the Discord announcement. Let's see if we can do this without a bunch of headaches as well while we're at it. Don't need that. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. Hello, Keeney. How you going, mate? Yeah, so we're gonna give this another whirl, shall we? Hello, RJ. How you going? Yesterday didn't go too well because of the delightful migraine that happened. Hopefully, it will go better today. Let me turn off some lights in the ceiling, though. It's game dull time, says Skyleboo to you. Whoops. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Much better today. This looks a bit sus, doesn't it? I guess some Canada. Damn it, that's not a thing. I thought it was a maple leaf. The Canadian polite yet vicious samurai. I don't know this game. And what is going on here? There's so many things I don't understand here. Wait, why does he have a gun as well? Oh, this is too confusing. I don't know this game. Like a dragon, if you say so. This one gives me Insta Genesis vibes though. But I can't place it. Nah, the game I'm thinking about is probably too old. No. It is. Nah. This must be a new Street Fighter. Which one is it? Street Fighter what? Third Strike. It could be just about anyone. Super Street Fighter. There you go. Wow. What? This was never on the Amiga, was it? Maybe it was. That's a name we haven't seen in one year, Chromer. No, go and find your key. Okay. Right then. So yeah, what we were doing yesterday, we were building something. We were building something yesterday. Oh my god. Okay, 1 second. kids, why are they so needy? Who's dead? I can't find my insulin. I'm not feeling well. Come on, I was gonna play games. No, it's all good. Yeah, so we were building something yesterday, and then I got a headache and died a little, and now I am not dead. So we'll continue then, right? Uh, so I still haven't recorded the video because I get to like the first sentence and then be like, but now what? I've been working on this for so long, I can't see the forest for the trees. I don't know why anyone should use this. Don't use it. I don't know, right? It's confusing. Okay, so let's build something, right? I think we were working on like a weather thing, weren't we? Yeah, that's what we're doing, right? And I think that's cool. So let's do that. Rapid fire video making and then cherry pick. The thing, it doesn't even have to be a long video. It's just gonna be an introduction to Anathema, right? For people who don't want to read. So in like 2 minutes, I want to deliver what the merit of this project is, right? But you can't be like, this is Anathema, hot loading templates. Okay, thanks, bye. And then what? Then what? You loon. Get back here. Tell me what it is. Oh man, you're not the only one, Robbo. I have heard so many people pronounce it in various ways. If you hang on, let me link the video that someone linked to me. Oh, this thing's just crashed, right? And Anathema. Right, there you go. I wish I remember who linked that video to me, but it's funny. Text user interface, the end. Yeah. So, but then the inevitable questions are gonna be, I can predict the questions that will turn up around this. Why did you build this instead of working on one of the existing ones? To which I shall mentally headbutt them, but politely say, because I didn't want to work on the other ones and I do what I want with my time, you do what you want with your time. And then I will be bitter and angry for the rest of the day. No. There's like a lot of questions that will be asked, so I'd rather try to answer them before I get asked the question, right? So I thought that would be a thing, maybe, to do. Why not X? I still call it Twitter. Okay, so for some reason something is wrong here. What's logs? That's state locations. That's a value list string. Okay. Why is this an issue? There's no push. Oh no, I got that for right. So I took your joke and then I made another joke on top of that. But I guess there was a little bit of a disconnect there, right? I'm sorry, I went too meta. Okay. As you should, he said, using Twitch to chat. Okay. Why is this push function not there? Oh, right, because it's here. I forgot how things work. We really need like a clear function there, right? Could be could be expensive, but it could also work. Could work like a clear range, couldn't it? Oh, that's so right. That's not a right name. Private fields? Well, I'll have you know that I'm friends with private fields and Sergeant Variable, so get on with it, right? Okay, so we are doing something ridiculous here. Okay, excellent. I'm glad you agree. Weather report. All right, so then we have to take this weather report and insert this into this guy. So let's say max be a value string for now because we do not care about anything else. Report dot max c. Is that a thing? And then we do state dot max dot set to that. Wait, what are you talking about? Oh, that's a U size. Eep. Well, you can also be a U size then if you feel like it. Should it really be... Shouldn't it be a floating point number? I kind of feel like it should be a floating point number instead. And then we can play with the precision thing, right? That'd be pretty cool. Okay. Was that it? Do we now have this? Can we run this? Well, it doesn't do anything. Why does it not do anything? I see. I went a little bit too async for my own good there. And then Tokyo, spawn, run. I didn't think this would block, but apparently it does. All right, are you going to be good now? There we go. So I saw that Dottie was building... Oh, man, shut up, brain. I saw that Dottie was doing something, and I think we need to look into it. Before I accept this PR, it made me think that maybe I set this up to fail already. I kind of feel a bit bad if I reject someone's PR, but because they put effort into it. But I don't know if the solution is really going to be the right one. Oh, full screen. I think we can use this one here. We don't need you. Nope. Because we're not using the release, the local build, that's why. That makes sense. Well, do we need to release just for that? Probably not. And this is long and weird, okay? Just like you. What? Sorry. Okay, so if we get an event here, we should send... Oh yeah, we need to have an input for this. It's too easy, Dom. Dom is easy. That's definitely what I was gonna say. Stack Spacer. Spacer is what we need. How you doing, buddy? You guys never disappoint. Imputer, input. What are we inputting? On, enter, to what? We should map this event to location change, right? Now here's the thing. We kind of want to debounce this a little bit, don't we? We need to show locations as well, don't we? Like that. Michael Scott. I don't know who that is. How you doing, C3? Okay, so let's match the event name. Location change. Doing good, Siash. How you doing? I need to do better. Oh shit! I forgot to take all my meds. Hang on, man. This is all the hair I'm gonna have within a year. All right, hang on. Oh, what a life being a parent is. Hmm. Um, I don't know the name of anyone in any TV show ever, right? So I know they exist, and that's it, right? It is already free full. Hang on. How about that? Okay, so if the location changes, then we need to update. But here's the question: should we do the whole like debouncing thing, or should we just I3 state? No. This is just an alacrity window running as a status bar with Anathema running something I just named hack bar, right? There you go. Now it's clear. Okay. I've already done this, Scott. I did that. That's what I was doing during Sergeant Pepper stream. It took me half an hour to make that. It doesn't do anything though, but the rest is just you can just mess around with it, right? Super easy. It's a glass. It might be an IKEA glass, yeah. Because yes, yeah, Enrico, man. Real men manages their own lifetimes. Come on, man. Toughen up there, princess. Manage your lifetimes, Enrico. Otherwise, I'll kick you out. What is this location change? It's just an event name. Yeah, jade color. Look at you, fancy pants. We can't all be living in large down in New York City, mate. Some of us can just afford clear glass. IKEA police. Like, you all got like super fancy glasses. Why do you have to tell me how successful you are, right? You kind of just have to rub it in, right? I accept my life choices, okay? You don't have to rub it in with your jade and light blue, okay? Just because I'm like plain over here. How's it going, Maniac? I'm being harassed for my simple choice of IKEA glasses. Down where it says location change. That is a typo, right? Location change. Isn't that what we wrote up here? Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's all good, all right. So when we do that, we are going to get a bunch of locations. But actually, yeah, why overcomplicate things, right? So all we have to do is tell this thing to give us some locations then, right? Seems easy enough. Well, how do we do that? We have to have a means to send that somewhere, right? So why don't we just do this then? And instead of using default, we use component. And then we are going to put weather here. Pass in the TX there, right? And then what would you call the state for you, right? Ah, you don't exist. We all been there, right? Weather state. Well, that one implements default, so we're just going to do that. Now, there is no new function for weather, so I do think we're going to add that, right? So let's import weather, whether you like to or not. And that is a weather request. I will be making the request here. Nobody asked. Shut up. TX. And then let's put the TX here as a sender of a weather request. Look at that. Ain't that a beauty? What are you griping about now? All right, not default for you. Well, that makes sense. Look at that. Okay, so this is sort of needlessly complicated, which is why I didn't want to make this as the first demo application though, right? It's a little bit... So let's make a weather request here, right? Weather request locations by... Well, we need to get the name first, right? So that's going to be event.data, which is text, not to be confused with the text element, but rather the extras text here, right? And then name into perchance. Wait, are you a reference? Yes, you are. Can we just toString on this thing then? All right. Like so. No. That's a response. Goodness me. So we're sending a request to get locations, and then we have to have like a means of picking them, right? But let's just do this now. Oh, we don't have an input. Okay, so apparently using widgets that doesn't exist is somewhat of a problem. So we need to make sure they do exist. So let's say builder dot default input template unwrap. Yes. Okay, what about now? Yay. Okay, so London. Okay, well, we should probably show like a loader or something like that until we get a response back. But right now we're not getting anything back. So we send the request and we should be getting a response back. So let's see where this thing is falling apart. Maybe somewhere fun. Probably not. I don't know why I thought that would be fun, but it probably isn't. So getting locations here. Oh yeah. So here's the problem. I never wrote this. That's why. So anyway, docs RS request, I think, maybe. Let's have a look. Okay, we want to get some JSON. Ah, good old copy and paste. Let response equal client get URL JSON. Well, no, this is sending. This is sending JSON. I want to read JSON. Plain bodies. All right, don't shame me. Get await text. So get await JSON. Oh, wait. Question mark. Right, and then we just need the client. Okay, so that could just be request get. There we go. Okay, maybe we have to add request so this works. And we get rid of that one. Whee. Okay, maybe that is as easy as it gets then. It isn't. Question mark? No JSON found. All right, what do you need from me? Commercial support? Not on my watch. Should we put like Anathema license? If you're building open source software, it's free to use, but if you or someone you know work for Amazon, then you have to pay 9 billion Brazilian pounds to use it. That seems logical, doesn't it? Cookbook. Make a GET request. Okay, let's not get sidetracked now. Feature flags. Is there a derive or a JSON here? Yes, there is. All right, we'll just go and amend that, shall we? But before we do that, don't worry, it's all good. Repeat ad nauseum. I'll have you know that London in the summer has very warm and pleasant rain and also cold and miserable rain, okay? It is nuanced. It is not that simple, Scott. Where are we? There we go. Oh no. Tummel. Version. Features. Oh, mate, this is brilliant. If this works, we're done, yeah? Type annotation needed. You type annotation. All right, then where do we stick that? Here, maybe, perchance? Well, you don't know about value, do you? You don't know about value, do you? But I think that's the way to go. Ah, nice. And now we can await and be cool about it. Look at all those juicy dependencies. But in my favorite language, we don't have dependencies. Well, aren't you a lucky ducky? Sorry, what build system do you use? It's made entirely of tears. All right.
It's the crying build system.
Okay, so what do we got here then? We got location, but it's not seemingly coming in. Well, we shall fix that somehow. Where do we run this weather service then? Oh no, we need to do microservice tutorial in Anathema, right? Where do we start? It's networking, there you go. And then we'll hop in here and while we do the okay, that's it. No. So we're going to emit async to the component, the weather response, but seemingly it is not getting there. So why don't we just panic here? You have made a grave mistake with your spaces. I kind of feel like it's not working. Well, that one happened. This isn't an async function. It is not. Okay. It's probably just user errors. Isn't everything a user error, Skylar? Right. So we're sending this to this guy. Nope. This is never happening. Why not? Do we have to maybe spawn our thready for this thingy? Hello, Night Motion. Don't you worry about that one bit. I've been holding down the fort. How are you doing? All right, let's do this thing then, right? We'll have a function called fiddlesticks. And this thing will spawn a thread. But we're going to take the same args in here. And in this thread here, we are going to do all the main stuff. So what we need to do, we need to go to Tokyo and look at how the runtime builder looks like. Because I do not remember. And you are probably just wrong. So, you know, where does that place us, eh? Grr. Mismatch type? What? There we go. Okay, then. Maybe now. No. Not now. We have to call fiddlesticks. Maybe now we can get various Londons in. Hey, look at that. Where are you from? What's the name of your city? Nonsense. Okay. Paris. Ah, the Paris Lee Bergot Airport. I will teach you French. Un baguette at Lee Bergot Airport, s'il vous plaît. There you go. Rust in Germany. There's a Ruston and a Rustington too. And a Ruston Parva. Can we type Parva then and see what happens with that? Nothing. What about Brazil? Doesn't exist. Well, now you learn the harsh truth. It's pronounced burger. Now, dude, I don't think so, okay? You're not even French, right? I speak fluent Francois. You had an interview today with Adobe? I'm sorry to hear that. That's another person I haven't seen on Twitch for a long time. Okay, so what about if we make this into... Oh man, I am overcomplicating this so much. To another dimension as well. Last I heard from him, he was doing something with networking game dev, and I was also poking around in that stuff, so I emailed him some unsolicited advice. Okay, you're about to see something insane, and I need you to be calm during this. No semicolon. Let's just change it to reset. Meow. There we go. You know what? In the interest of, you know, something, learn my French. I don't want your coping mechanism. Look, you just admit that you're bad at Francois and not as good as moi. And just accept it, man. It's just sad when you're trying to, you know, prove a point by coming up with some fake news, okay? Now, what do we do here? That's not even remotely what I was looking for. So we're gonna say colors loop modulo 2 is 0. Maybe this should have a function. Okay, hear me out. Is even where so maybe what do you guys think? Should we have an is even in there? All right. You trying to skate on thin ice there, home slice. You get no sympathy from me. All right, look at that. Ain't that a beauty? We should probably number these as well, right? So we're gonna say a loop, and then we have another span in here with the location, and then we'll make this one blue dabba dee dabba doo. Oops. Look at that. Why? Because I felt like it. I'm also testing things. All right, but I don't love the colors here, right? So we'll pick something else. That's even worse. There we go. But it would be mildly cooler if we could select this. Although I think that might be pushing this a little bit too far. You know what we should do? Because this is so easy, right? Let's do this. Is it PS util? Yeah. Why is this broken? Oh, singular? That's what I did. That's what I did. What do you got for me then? Issues? Hmm. CPU and process. What do we need for this? Let's do this instead. Let's do... What's this memcar bullshit? Forget you. And you and you and you and you. Why does it suggest to use PSUtil 4 here as well? Let's do the old all-time downloads. Okay, that is this thing, but it clearly seemed to struggle with some memcar, you know. And why is this set to 4 and not whatever this says. Yeah, okay. So let's just ignore this weather malarkey for now. We take all this away. Remember fiddlesticks? I remember fiddlesticks. Let's do this instead. Let's load some different information from this instead. That is definitely better than dealing with the inputs and stuff for a demo application. All right, let's read documentation. Reading, no, my only weakness. CPU percent. Okay. So why don't we just do this in a tick thing then? Okay, let's just clear off all this bullshit. You know what we're gonna do? Why don't we do this instead? A stock scroller in there, definitely need one of those. Well, we're gonna make components, right? So let's make a directory called source components cpu.rs. Whoopsie doodles. Hackless, I like it. Yeah, baby. That's how we do it. Okay, but now should we let this guy be in charge, right? He can be Charles. Whoops. Yeah. All right. What time is that? We've been streaming for an hour, roughly. Let's say an hour. Let's build this now. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what the update frequency of this thing should be. Not every blooming second, right? So we'll store some information on here, right? So what should the frequency of the ticks be? Well, we can go here and have a static frequency be a duration, which is the duration from seconds. You can read that word out loud and go because, you know, it's allowed. All right, entertain yourself. I can't always be there. All right, so then we're going to use the frequency here. So next tick is super frequency. And then here, next tick is equal to, whoops. Next tick dot saturating sub of delta time. It's like magic. If self dot next tick is larger than 0 with 2 E's because you really want to put emphasis on that 0, okay? Then return. Otherwise, next tick is frequency, right? And around we go. And then we have to query. Why can't you? Oh. Why can't we have noise thing? Well, we do it on a component by component basis because they can have different update frequencies if we wanted to, but they don't have to. All right, so we do this and then we're going to have the state. So here we'll use this thing, CPU %. Namespace. VMT better not be in the chat now. Whoops. Now, what, pray tell, do you... Where is the CPU %? So we have the CPU module and the CPU... Wait, where did... Do you not exist? You do. From the CPU parent collector. Okay, but that's not what I wanted. Huh? That's not what I wanted. What do we have in here? CPU %. That's not a function. You might have told a fib. The sysinfo crate. No one has. People are not useful. They are just mean-spirited all the time. This might be better. All right. Someone ban root for making me look bad for picking a suboptimal library, okay? You're making me feel inferior, okay? Get out of here. So refreshed. We got disk space and everything. I mean, why not, right? Why not? Let's use this instead. Oh, I had a really good idea. Let's use sysinfo instead. Man, it hurts how smart I am. Oh, my feelings. Okay. Cargo add sysinfo. What did I use for a top? Idiot me. All right. Why did I even think of PS utils? I blame Enrico. All right, CPU. All right, let's go to sysinfo instead, which is clearly the superior choice here. I knew that all along. Me and Guillermo Gomez agrees. Let's go to documentation and let's have a look at the CPU usage here. Look at that. We can get all of these things as components, couldn't we, right? Oh, Bunnybot doesn't do banning, Enrico. Bunnybot just tells you which keyboard to use. There's also an elaborate insult built into Bunnybot that no one has managed to trigger, and that's okay. Okay, so we have multiple CPUs in here. Okay, so we have multiple CPUs here that we can use. Should we, could we, would we just list that then, right? So what is CPU, CPU usage? Okay, so for CPU in sys, which we need to import, no. So what is this system new thing though? Is that a bad thing to call repeatedly? Create a new system instance with nothing loaded. Use one of the refresh methods like refresh all to update its internal information. What's the specifics we can do? Can we choose CPU here? Private fields with CPUs. Oh, okay. Maybe that's what we do then. So we want that. Oh my god, this is a lot going on, isn't it? Right? We do need a leaderboard for the non-redemption. I kind of feel like that's an important thing. Okay, so let's call sys refresh kind. Oh my god. System info with new specifics. So, oh, sys info with new specifics. Yes. Well, this can be stored on the component, right? With new specifics. Apparently not. Is this behind some kind of feature? Can I not spell? I could not. Refresh kind. We'll put that in the new function. So that will be a system here as well. And then refresh kind. I think we want something like refresh kind with CPUs. Okay, so nothing with CPUs. That seems about right, doesn't it? Wait, what are you griping about? Not enough brackets for you. This is easy. What do you want? All right, so then we should be able to refresh the system. So we'll do self.system.refresh. Oh, I'm just making things up here. Okay. No, system.cpu. Apparently not. Oh, I'm in the wrong place again. It's just like that time, something inappropriate. Maybe just CPUs. By default, the list of CPUs is empty until you call refresh CPU specifics. Oh, so many arguments. Okay, what are you then? Is there an everything? Yeah. Hello, Doddy. Now we need to get the CPUs. So we're just gonna call sys CPUs. There's an N in CPUs. What are you then? You're a reference to a CPU. I saw it there. Where are you? Ow. Okay, so brand. Let's get all of this out there. Okay, so pub struct CPU state, which sounds like something else. A brand. That will never change. What else do we want in there? Usage. And what's usage? An F32. What else do we have? Name. A stringling, no doubt. And vendor ID. Do we care about the vendor ID? Maybe we do. Okay, and then we'll have an impl CPU state that has a update function like though self.brand.set CPU.brand, because the brand will change frequently, right? No brand on the CPU. Oh, wrong CPU. Okay, well, you know CPU component, not a CPU cop. That would be a different thing. Okay, we are about 10 minutes in here. Get brand? All right. No, this is a ethical brand. What do you want from me? Oh, right. So we have usage. No usage. Okay, CPU usage. Frequency? Or what's frequency then? Oh, that's going to be the clock frequency, no doubt. Ah! Stop using the wrong frequency. Oh, U64. My B, Holmes Life. Name and vendor. Brand is name. Name is vendor. And vendor is you. That's vendor ID. Okay, then. There we go. What could be better? Indeed. I mean, it could be doing something useful, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Now, we're supposed to have multiple CPUs, though. Do we have some kind of index for a CPU? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So we don't know. But is this just going to return one CPU then? I actually don't know what this thing is going to return. But it would look like we need to have multiple CPUs then. So the state will be a list of CPUs. State. Like so. So for every CPU in CPUs, then here we shall say, let's just do an enum here, right? You know what? We can just get away with that, right? And then self.state.get. No. No, I don't know why I thought it was going to be self.state. So we do this, and then we make it mutable, and then CPU state.update with the CPU. There's no new for you. Can we just default you then? We can. Ooh, that was a hard word to type. Well, we all have our days. But why can't we call update here? Oh, right. What a silly person I am. Oh, get mute, you fool. Man, have you computed before? Everything computer. Okay, so that will be a mute val. And then here we'll do that. And then we shall do state dot push back ZPU state, because we need to store this in there as well. What? No, I don't love you anymore. Okay, so we have to have CPUs in there. Okay, new state then. Ugh. Fine. Default and state. Done. Oh, really? Pepper, welcome. How did you get on? How did you get on with your thing? Choo-choo. How did you get on with your... I was watching you doing inverse kinematics earlier. Did you enjoy that? Have you gotten to the point where you have to do like the strength painting between the joints and stuff? Which drives you insane? Yeah, this isn't gonna work. I guess what we could do is just make an empty one here. Oh, that probably saved you a lot of pain though. Stop using self all the time, damn it. Yep. There's always something, isn't there? Thank you so much, Pepper. Thank you so much, buddy. That's awfully kind of you. There we go. I'm not as good as Jotsen when it comes to singing, but what do you want from me?
More singing, maybe?
All right, then. Ugh. Private types. Oh my god. All right, well, that wasn't too bad. All right, so it took us 20 minutes to build this. 20 minutes to build a CPU monitor malarkey. Should we try to use this now then? So let's add this thing. CPU. Oh, what a hectic song. Wait, it's not? No, we have to use the new function, you lark. Are we good with this? No. Where's the CPU states? Can't you import that? You can now. Easy. To right. Okay, so we should now be able to run this. Well, first we have to make a new config hackbar templates cpu.aml text CPU here. Then, if we were ever so kind to open up the index, we can get rid of you. Whoops. And then just add the CPU here, right? I think I might have brokified it. Yeah, I think I broke it. That's all right. There we go. That's where the CPU goes, apparently. Okay. Let's make ourselves a comfy little H stack in here where we gonna put this. So, of course, uno momento, por favor. Okay, so that one's complaining about something. Probably something I don't want to be happening. What is it complaining about? We can't see. Unregistered component. Oh, yeah. Maybe we actually have to rebuild it for that to happen. So let's do a cargo build release. Nope, not in there. We don't. Okay, forget about it. We just run it in here for now. We don't really care about that. So I can't just say CPU here. That's dumbass. So what can we do? We can say for CPU in CPUs in state. The CPUs. Okay, we have quite a few of them. All right, I just want to see the first one. And what do we get here? There are 5,337 CPUs here. I think that might not be right. But this frequency is going to be relevant only for one CPU, right? Now it's 5 kilohertz. Okay, maybe we should multiply instead. Wait, why did it go to 3? Oh, so that is CPU usage. When could we possibly want that? You are a toggle adult now, Pepper, and thank you again for the sub. You are not wrong. Okay, so what do we have in terms of available things that we can look at? We have the brand. Who doesn't want to know about the brand, right? It's a Ryzen. I don't think we care about the brand. What about the usage? Okay, now we can use one of these fancy functions. Now I can use one of them fancy functions. Ow, my feelings. Where are you, template function? Round. Let's round. There we go. Okay. We need the fancy graph. Yeah. All right. What about the vendor? Apparently, there is no vendor. Well, it's a vendor ID. Authentic. Right. Okay. Do we really want all this information per CPU? I kind of think that we might not want that. Is there a pre-calculated average for us? I'm gonna try not to do any. We could, but I'm gonna try to not do any input handling for this example. Huh, that's a thing. Maybe we have to combine them and average them ourselves, right? Okay. Let's do that then, shall we? But then we have to stop the program. So the CPU's states should have an average frequency, which is a value U64 apparently. I'm okay with that. And then that should give us a CPU frequency, an average. Okay. And now nothing is working. Why is nothing working? Making a system model? Yeah, just for fun, right? Okay, it took a while for us to do that. So here we could just put a text average CPU and then CPU dot average frequency. And then we don't care about these CPUs there. And also I have to probably write correctly. Why is that not working? What did I do wrong? Quickly, internet, tell me. Oh, right. I see it. There we go. Right. So that's our average CPU usage. Okay, then. Should we do one? So, all right. That took a little bit longer than it should have. So that was like half an hour, right? What's Balatro? Do we know what the total would be? Can we get things like the max CPU and such so we can do like a percentage of CPU usage? Yeah. No, wait. That's the frequency. Okay, so that will be the total, right? Wait a second, that's not right. Then what's the difference between frequency and usage then? Because this shouldn't change then, right? So 4,500 is the total. I thought it was changing. That's why I was, yeah. I mean, how does that work then? Wow, thank you for clearing that up for me. That's an insanely insightful thing. If the frequency is the frequency, then how can the frequency change? So the usage would be the load, right? CPUs adjust that on the fly. Then it's kind of meaningless to know the total CPU usage. I guess we can still have the total and still do a percentage of CPU usage, right? So that makes sense. So that is the frequency, and then we can have the usage in that case. So average CPU usage is what we want. I don't know if usage is in percentage though, right? It is. All right. So, all right. Really, that's all we want then. So we don't need that. Yeah, the frequency is kind of meaningless. I thought we had to do this ourselves, but that's fine. So we're just going to have the average CPU usage instead. Then that makes it so much easier, apparently. It doesn't change anything. Just change the name here. Oh, Nelly. Average usage. All right, doesn't have 32 because it's a percentage. Y ya está. Okay, so if we run this now, we should get not the average frequency, but the average usage, which is 0. I don't think that's right, but it has to refresh a little bit. That's way too many dots. Okay, so round you to 8. I don't think that's right. Oh, that makes more sense. 8 average CPU 8 megahertz. Okay. Well, do we think that's correct? Where's the usage? Yeah, I don't think that's right because OBS is taking up a lot of CPU usage here. So I don't think 8 is correct here. Do we do a refresh CPU all? Yeah, we will have done that more than once though, right? It can't be that we have to do it once for every frame, right? Why does it feel so sluggish though? Oh, 10 seconds. Goodness me. All right. That's better. But that average CPU is kind of wrong. So I must be calculating that wrong somewhere. So refresh everything. And then they do that. But since we're doing this repeatedly, it should be refresh CPU all. Can we do this? We can. I don't think that's going to change anything. Maybe we should look at all the CPU usages in that case, right? So let's do this then. Let's make this into a vertical stack instead, right? And then we say for CPU in state.cpus. Wow! Too much number. We can't fit all the cores on screen. Hang on. This does not coincide with OBS using more. Yeah, I don't see that anywhere. Where's those 127? This doesn't make any sense to me. Where do these numbers come from then? CPU 113% for OBS. How does that make sense? Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's reporting 140% here for OBS, but I see nothing here that would match that. So I'm a little bit unsure how to read these numbers. The average here makes sense based on these numbers. So the average is fine for what this reports, but I'm a little bit unsure where the whole OBS thing comes in. Isn't it based on one core? Well, every one of these is one core, right? If we do this, you can see the core there. Can we round this to 2? I think I might break this now. Yeah. Well, hang on. No. Okay. Is there no 2 float? I thought we had like a 2 float function templates that we could use. Where's the documentation when you need it? Ooh, Nelly. Oh, Nelly, where's my functions? To stir, to int. There is no to float. Okay. Right. To the float mobile. There is a to int, and we'll add a to float as well. That's insane. Should we allow Boolean values to become floats? I mean, you can go to int and then to float, right? So I guess it doesn't really matter. This is kind of insane, but why not? We're already gone down the path of madness. Top shows the CPU usage in relation to the power of one core. If your task racks up 200% CPU, then it's occupying 2 cores. Huh. Good to know. Okay. Oh yeah, float. Float. So much float. All right, so we should now have a float command. How quick and easy was that? The answer is very. Okay, can we now float these? We can. I don't remember why I was doing that anyway. Why did I want to float that? That makes no sense. Why would I possibly want to float then? Anyway. It does, Dottie. I'm going to look through your PR as well, right? Okay, but then if we look at this thing, so what are we using? Like, most of this is probably OBS then, right? Most of this is probably OBS. OBS. All right, so we got 31 cores here doing its glorious work. Right. What about the next thing then, right? So that's the CPU. Should we do one for memory as well then, right? Mem state. I don't know what we're gonna have in there. Let's have a look at that. Where do we even go from here? All right, so we got all this jazz. We can have all this stuff. We're basically building NeoFetch now, aren't we? Okay. I guess we could do that as something as well. You know what we're gonna do? We're going to we're going to build this like resource monitor thing, and then we just, without changing anything other than templates, we'll make it into like a live NeoFetch thing, right? All right, so let's get the memory involved in this. So we got total used, total swap, and used swap, right? Where does that come in? Total mem. All right. What is that? Oh man, there's... okay. Total mem is U64, right? I don't know what that is, Scott. I don't have that. All right, so we're not going to use system new all because we only want to refresh memory where that's relevant, right? So we can probably figure that out as well, right? So we got total, we got free, which is also a U64. And this time we're not going to need... yeah. Used memory, okay. Total swap. Free swap and used swap, okay. Whoops. Like that. Don't know about AWS Educate. No, I haven't had to touch AWS anything in a long time, and that makes me super happy. The playing checkbox bingo is not my idea of fun. This is a Linux command. Not for me, not on my box, it isn't. All right, so how do we get sys with just memory then? Mem state, so that is gone. That is the, whoops, mem component. We want that. Next take frequency, that works fine for me. With specific, can we do, instead of with CPU, can we do something else? Ah, right. Righty tighty. We need mem here. Yasta. There we go. Inksib. That doesn't help. No, I don't have Inksy. That's not a thing. Yeah, but if the command doesn't exist, it doesn't matter what you add afterwards, right? There is no such command, right? So I don't have Inksy installed. That's not the issue. It's more than anything, right? All right, so here we're gonna ditch all of this. And instead of doing a refresh CPU, can we do refresh memory? Yes, we can. Nope. Okay, so how do we get the... So we need the memory refresh kind here. No update for you. There we go. You could, you might have installed it, right? It's probably something you can install, but it's just not available by default. So a basic, I use Arch, by the way. A basic Arch install doesn't really contain that much, right? So you kind of build it up with what you want. So my usual install culprits would be, for a desktop, that's just going to be Vim, Xorg, and i3. And OBS and browser, right? Like there's some very basic stuff, right? I don't install a lot of the other tooling and such. I mean, over time you install, so I don't know if base devil is still a thing, but you do install these things. But on that, you know. Okay, so let's do state dot, and let's have a look at what this thing is now. State dot total set. Self.system.total. Is it total mem? No. Then I have to go and look it up. Available memory? No. So total memory, not mem. Okay, and then free becomes used. Whoops. Used swap. Whoops. Used becomes total swap. Probably not called total swap memory then. Is it just total swap maybe? Yeah. And then here, total becomes free, not gree. And then free becomes used. And that's it, all right? Hello, Caleb. How you doing? Hello, Brangelus. How you doing? I'm doing all right. We have built a CPU thing now in under an hour. Is it good? Yes. Yes, it is. Actually. But then we have to touch the template memAml. So we can have memAml. I don't know where I was going with that. But anyway, let's open up the mem stuff. Now we have to make a component for this thing. All right, so we have the CPU. Let's have the mem happening here. All right, that's a lot of mem right there. Actually, there's a lot of CPU there. Let's make a VStack here where we're just going to show this off. Total. All right. Text, maybe. That's not right. Whoopsie. All right. That's a little bit of a large number, maybe. So should we show this in megabytes, right? That's kilo, mega, giga, right? No, you did not like that. No, that's too float. Cool. Thank you, Warren. You moved from Ubuntu to Arch. Oh man, that's so great, Previn. Yeah, went from non-virgin to became a virgin overnight. Good work. All right, can we waste some memory on something? Google Chrome? No. Wow, I don't have that installed anymore. Can we, what should we do to waste some memory then, right? Let's just open up a bunch of things here. All right, I don't feel like the memory is being wasted. We need bigger numbers, okay? All right, what if we open up another instance of OBS? Oh no, okay. That's just showing the total memory. uh, oh man. Yeah, I just realized that, DCA. I just realized that. Okay, let's swap these around. And let's look at the free. Okay, so that's the amount of free memory we have. Should we try Firefox again? Float, my boy, float. Ah. Open more tabs, more tabs. Whoops. More tabs. All right, we're losing. We lost a gigabyte in there, right? And then free it all. Free the memory. Slowly but surely. Don't call me Shirley. All right, so that's the free memory. We can go down to 2. This one we don't even need to do anything with, right? Skip all the rounding business here. Bracket. Thank you. All right, so we got 61 giggles. I'm guessing we're supposed to divide by 1,000 and not 1,024 to get close. Where are we with this? Is it reporting this thing in 1024s or 1,000? All right, it's hard to tell. Should add unit. Maybe we have a unit. It says 61 giggles. What? How is that not a? How is that not a unit? Huh? I don't know what units you use, but I got terabibbles and giggles in my maybe. Okay, so let's see what else do we have in our mem component then, right? We got all the swap. Or do you guys want to see how much swap I have? How much swap do I have? I'm not sure why I wrote this like this. Okay. And then we do total swap. Wait, why is that not working? Oh, state. Bam, that's how much swap I have. But you need swap memory. No, you don't. But what about hibernate? That shit never worked on Linux in the first place. Get over yourself. All right, so we have no swap. And how much free do we have and how much use do we have? All right. What do we get if we add our free to our used? Well, that doesn't seem right, does it? I would have expected the free and the used to return a number close to that, with a bit of division, of course. Oh yeah, we totally have text styling. I show you something now. CPU. Let's not do that. Let's just have the average CPU. And for our memory, let's just show this. Okay. And let's open up our index and let's put a spacer here. Right. And then bam. There we go. Wait, not bam. Unbam. Unbam quickly. There we go. Right. Why are you over there though? That doesn't seem right to me. All right, a little bit of a. It's probably because we didn't start it up with the rest of the thing, right? So we can put a border, sides, left here. Where did the border go? Is this not going to show anything? Oh, hang on. We have to set the height to 1 and the width to 1. There we go, right? Why can you do that? Why can I do what? But in basically under an hour, we have a status bar made with Anathema. Oh, that's easy. We're just running a terminal as a status bar, right? So imagine all the really fun things you can do with this, right? Once you get into configuring. And since we're offering like all this information, there's nothing stopping us from converting this to some kind of awkward neofetch, right? So if we run this, we could now go back into our mem here and do what we did before, right? Let's not put any of that in there. All right. And now we're starting to build the shittiest neofetch you've ever seen, right? We should have a text element here. Put arch, by the way. All right. And then we put a spacer here. Okay. There we go. Can we get like the arch neofetch thing? I'm not going to bother with the... to install. We don't need to install. We made it ourselves, right? Can we just see the arch logo in neofetch? You made your own. I can't go there, can I? All right. Let's do that then. Can we get this maybe? No, don't give me images, you lark. What's this thing? What does this do? Oh man, I was just hoping for some basic ASCII art, right? Something we could neatly copy and paste here. Oh, good grief, I'm losing interest quickly, but the point is there, right? You'd have to... We can do this. No, nougat. Get out of here, Microsoft. No one asked for you. There we go. Okay, there you go. That's okay. We're running lol Linux Virgin version. Okay. Easy. Obviously, you can style and do whatever you want with this thing to make it look good. But the point is that we can do all this while... Well, I mean, I obviously broken this thing up here now because I choose to do that. So let's get rid of all of this. Well, maybe not that. Maybe not that far. There we go. So now we go back to this thing being there. Whoopsie, I thought, but now we got it right. It should be an ask. It should have been a bunny, absolutely, right? But yeah. So we can obviously do this in terms of well, let's just open up the CPU then, right? So we can show off a little bit more of this thing, right? So we're gonna say with average as, and then we just take all this jazz here, right? And if the average, how are we gonna get the CPU up, right? So let's have levels here. We can have green level, yellow, and red. Okay, those will be the levels, right? And if the average is how should we do this then, right? Average. I guess what we could do here is we could match this with a key, right? So what we end up with is a level. And for green, we say less than 10. And then the color is green, right? Yeah, calm down. I haven't finished this. And red. We're not going to get the CPU up to that. Man, I just got a really nice email from the sponsor, guys. They're so sweet, man. What was I talking about now? Oh man, I completely brain farted now. I just like my brain just melted a little bit, right? Yeah, it's all right, man. Let's get a bit more space to work with here. That's all right. We'll figure it out, right? We could just write a function to do this, but that would be a bit insane. Actually, this probably should be in the state instead. The level should be in the state, but I just wonder if we can do this. But these numbers are too insane, right? There is no break, so we can't use a for loop. So we would have to translate this to 0, 1, and 2, right? Can we do that? Okay, as an exercise. I always get sidetracked with bullshit. Let's not. Let's just do a. Wait, why are the templates in here? Those should not be there. We're doing this on the CPU. So we can simply set the level here. Like that. There we go. All right. So if it's 0 to, what should we go with? Let's say 0 to 5 or 6, just because. Then and that would be 7 to, I don't know, 20. And then this will be the rest. Can we not do this? Wait, why would we need that? We should do that instead. Okay. I expected an F32. No, you don't. Yeah, you do. Oh, right. Probably a U32 is sufficient for this. All right, but we don't actually use the levels in this case. No, it's just syntax highlighting. It's a basic Vim highlighting thing. What did I say here? Oh yeah. So the foreground is gonna be levels, state the level. Why isn't that working? Oh right, and then we actually okay. So there we go. Right. So with color as. There we go. All right, so it's yellow. I don't know how we're gonna get it to green though, but I guess we could just get rid of all these things then. And get rid of that too. We can go with 0 to 8 and then 9. So we should, oh wait, what? Oh yeah, that's backwards. Okay, so it's green, then it goes to yellow. Okay, easy enough, right? There's obviously nicer things we can do here to make it look better, but the point is that it's easy, okay? As long as you understand that, you will be okay. There we go. All right. Well, you probably don't want to see this. Can we get some nicer? Can we get some like Unicode CPU? Is this the best we can do? Kind of feel a bit naff, doesn't it? There we go. All right. I mean, we could do everything with this. We could route like Twitch chat into this if we wanted to. We don't want to do that. You might think we do, but we don't. What about the memory then, right? RAM. We get a goat in there. Is this thing just failing on account of JavaScript? All right, let's get the goat in there. You want Gibbs here. There we go. Maybe we don't want the spacer there as well, right? Look at that. It looks like an actual status bar, right? Should we get the machine name in there as well while we're at it, right? Since we're building the next gen Neo Fetch. Why not? What do we call that? New source components host.rs. Let's do host com. I guess what we could do is just copy this and then clean it up, right? Host state. I don't think we're gonna need to refresh this. Oh, network and disk activity, absolutely. Let's get that in as well, right? Maybe we do that first because it's more interesting. Right, so it's not memory refresh kind now. What kind of refresh kind is this kind, right? Time and date, Tambien. Refresh kind. We have memory, disk, CPU, process, but we don't have network here. Maybe there's no network for this. We can do disk though. There are networks. All right, we'll do networks then. All right, so that's going to be net state. And we probably, maybe this should be NIC state even, right? I don't know what we call that. We call it net state for now because I don't know what information we're going to get, right? CMAS. Oh, wow. I haven't used that in a very long time. This is the host. Right? We don't care about the host. Get me back to the net, please. Net state. Are we going to have many nets in here? Let's see what this thing returns. So we need networks with blah for this to work. So let's get the component net. All right, so let's do system being networks with refreshed list. That has to be imported. And we don't know what you are yet. So that is not system, that is networks. We totally could do, can we do dbus? Surely this thing doesn't do dbus as well. That would be insane. No. We could probably get like a dbus thing for Spotify as well. Man, this is the easiest thing in the world to build. Damn it. All right. Networks with whatever, right? So self.networks.refresh maybe? No? All right, so how do we refresh? Remove not listed interfaces. Okay. Has anyone seen Temporis in a while? I have not. Is this thing gonna be slow? And then we're gonna list these. I don't think he has. I saw him online on Discord. I'll ping him after the stream. What is in net? What is the string? So this is a map. So we should probably use this as a map as well. So our net comp has networks as the state. Networks state, right? I just hope that this thing is not an expensive operation, right? Well, we'll find out if it is. If it doesn't update. Maybe this is the device then. That's all right, 9motion. Sometimes I feel like that myself. As a matter of fact, I kind of feel like that right now, but... So that would probably be the interface name, and this would be the data. Now we have to make a net state. We have to make this a thing. So let's go with errors since last refresh. All right. How do we... What is going to be useful here to look at? Returns a number of received bytes since last refresh. Okay. So let's go with received. Is it a U64 or not? I think it is, yes. Okay, so we're going to do this on init instead. Because I don't want to build this list up in like outside of this. So we build the list up at this point. And then we do something here. And then here we'll do state.networks.get mute device. And I guess we could do let some device is else continue. So now we just have to do something with that information. It's not net state, but okay, devices. Wow. Like that. There's no insert. No, we have to get networks here mutably. They don't work the same as list, right? So net works is state.networks.get mute. No, it isn't. It's to mute. And then there we go. Okay, so then here we have net state default. So we fill up the list even though we don't put anything in there. And then we go and do a refresh here. Then we get the devices out. So the only way this is going to fail is if you have like a virtual device or something that you remove. But I think we're okay with that for now. Since this is more of a showcase than anything. device dot, what do we have? Received. To network dot received. Okay, so we have received, we probably have transmitted as well. We just update that, right? I think that this thing is hopefully you seeing me bumble around with this stuff probably should give you enough confidence to build something like this yourself, right? Given that it's not overly complex what we do. We're just mapping values to displays, right? This is really simple. There's something that annoys me with this thing. I want some padding here on the left by 1. All right, there we go. Yeah, why does the goat go away when I do that? I think that might be an alacrity issue more than an issue for us. But who am I to say? We'll see as we get on with it. Goat is back. Goat goes away. Goat is back. All right, let's not worry about it. Anyway, we were doing networking. Well, no, we weren't. We were looking at network stuff, right? The restriction is not really part of the layout, right? So I looked this morning to do something like that, which is why I came up with the idea of the status bar up here, right? I was actually thinking about what if we could implement a custom status bar in Tmux, but there is no way seemingly of doing that. And I looked at Sellage, and there was no way of really doing that either. When I say custom status bar, I'm actually looking for the simplest solution, which is to pin a window or a pane that exists in all windows or tabs in Sellage, right? But neither of them supports that. A Go tutorial, Scott? Really? That's something. I'm kidding. I understand what you mean. You can't rebind things in the window switcher, but surely you can change the keyboard bindings, right? But you mean like not at runtime or something? I ought to correct that myself, Scott. So you are good. Sorry, I totally missed that. Oh, look at that. There's a rabbit in a hat. For some reason, I thought it was like a train, but I don't know why I thought that. That was an adorable rabbit. I feel like Ro is getting double credit here, though, even he's just done the same thing twice, right? Ah, that one has the word bunny on top of it. That makes sense. No attribution. Aha, I love big carrot. I don't know, man. I feel like this is not so much about bunnies as maybe innuendos, right? It couldn't be changed? Oh, really? Yeah, no, that would be a straight up no for me. But if these things would allow you to just prefix a pane, then or fix a pane, pen one, then you could do your status bar however you want, just like I've done this one, right? It seems silly that they wouldn't. Okay, so we have net states, we have received and transmitter. What else do we need in there? Do we want IP networks, MT? Do we care about MTU packets received? The number of incoming packets since last refresh. Do we care about that? Total since when? Since I turned the computer on? Yeah, and if it's floating, you end up overwriting the window, right? So if I float this and move it up here, the floating part is going to override what's there. You need this kind of behavior, right? You can't see my other workspaces, but I don't have a status bar in the other workspaces. I normally don't have a status bar because I find them useless, but if you can build your own in half an hour, then why not, right? We probably could have done this like a lot better as well, but let's get the net state in there. I don't love how long these function names are. Will they be shorter if we get rid of the unwrap? Okay. No sneaking past that one then. All right, that's going to be the net. And devices. That's it, right? Yeah, we have to figure out how to do like dynamic splits for that to work before we can do that. All right, now we need to have a new template here, which is the net aml. All right. All right, let's run this, and then we do a cargo install. Restart our bar, and we should be good. Okay, that one just says net. I guess what we could do here is put a border with sides as left and right. And then the net underneath there. There we go, right? Okay, let's open up the net thing. I don't know what we have here. It's going to be an H stack, obviously. State.received. Ain't no receipt for you there. Oh no, we have to go through all the devices. Good grief. For device in... Oh shit, you can't iterate over maps in Anathema. So the map thing is kind of useless. If you want to do that, then you need a list. Okay, so we need to have a struct device then, right? Now you can have tuple structs. You couldn't do that in like 2 minutes ago, but now you can. And then state. Data. I hate writing the word state. It's uncomfortable to write. All right. Device. New. Let's do that. Even though we don't care about that. Actually, I guess we could care about that. Do we care about that? And then this is going to be state.networks push. Into like that. Hello, Wiru. It is. Now, we don't know if this list is ordered. Is it ordered? Whoops. All right. Do we have that now? Maybe not. Too right, Wiru. Too right. What do we call this? Networks. Well, that's kind of a bad name. Yeah, that didn't work. So the component has devices as state. So that is state.networks. No, that's the wrong networks. Okay, where's the state? Devices has networks. Huh. Okay, there we had a few there, right? Now we got 3 in there. All right, cool. Then we just restart this. Right, there we can see 3 network devices, yeah? But we don't see any state received, so there's something clearly wrong there. Dev, maybe. Oh, wait, what? What does this thing do? That should be a U64, right? Well, I can never be too serious. For every device in state networks, that should be devices, by the way. Okay, so we have the... Okay, there it works. Why does it repeat this word? I don't get that. What is the received thing? Devices is a list of device. Devices name and data. Oh, right. Oh. There we go. All right. Okay, let's kill the status bar up there. Let's V-stack these so we can see them. Okay, so why do we get the same device over and over again? That doesn't seem right to me. When we mount it, we do a push. Okay, so we pushed 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's just run this again. That's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so why are we seeing more devices? I don't think anyone should have it as a dream to work with Adobe. They are okay, now it works. They are not the most ethical company ever, right? So here we can just ignore the device that we don't care about, right? So we could say that we do care about. It would have been good if it was a map, wouldn't it? Oof, terrible music. So we really don't care about loopback devices, and I only care about Eno1. I don't care about wireless devices either. What does it look like if we run the status bar now? Yeah, that just doesn't show anything. This is such a grody thing to do, to just get 1. Yeah. No, that shouldn't have been a bug. Oh. Why would that be a bug? Whoops, all of a sudden. Right. And why do we see 2 of them now? That's also confusing. Oh, no, that's probably just because it doesn't clear something that we drew. That might be it. Ah, that might be it. Okay. There we go. No. For some reason, it seemed to do multiple. That could be an issue with the terminal. So before we start debugging that, we'll make sure that we can reproduce it here. Yeah, we can. And resizing does not fix the issue. Arguably, this thing would be quite easy if we just set the height to 1, which is what we're after in the first place. But no, that is definitely a bug. Right? It seemed to be adding quite a few additionals when we do that. If I restart it, it's a non-issue, obviously, but I shouldn't have to do that. Anyway, let's fix this thing first before we do anything, right? So this is in bytes, but we're interested in kilobytes, in megabytes, maybe. Apparently not. What about kilobytes then? I don't know what this stupid bug is about now. That's new. I just start with a book, Tommy. Book's fine. There's not much to it. It's pretty like it depends on what your expectations are. You don't want to fight it. What is it that you don't want to fight? The peer pressure of learning to write Rust or the language, right? There are many fights to be had here if you want them, or you can not have any of them as well, which is probably the more sensible thing. Okay, so this is a bug, and that frustrates me quite a bit. But let's find a network Unicode thing. There you go. That will be sufficient. No? Oh, we're using a V stack here. We shouldn't. This should be an H stack. Either way, this is a bug, and I don't understand why. If we restart it, the bug isn't there. So there's some issue with refreshing. But this is data received. So we need like an image for outgoing. Right, outgoing output. What about send? Receive. RX. Okay, TX probably gonna give me just as good results, right? Technically, cargo is just a package manager and deployment tool. The compiler is still Rust C, but that has nothing to do with C programming. It's Rust C for compiler, right? But either way, it should be all good. All right. So okay? Can we do like arrows then, right? Arrow to the right. We have a lot of choices here, I see. That one's just messed up, isn't it? Should that be outgoing, even though it looks like a carriage return? And then for receiving, we could use the other one. We'll just restart this one. I don't know why it's being so finicky. Ooh, that's just hard to read. And no one knows what's going on down here. This is some kind of insanity happening down there, right? But yeah. I kind of want a 3D printer. There are a lot of things that I've seen now lately that I want to 3D print. So technically, this is our transmission rate in seconds because we update these every second. But I feel a bit awkward saying that. How should we do this? Let's be a little bit sensible about this. Let's make a new component here. We do this, right? We'll do a network, a device .aml. And then here we can just say if bytes divided by 1024, 1024 is larger than 0, then that's what we show, right? Right, that's about right now, isn't it? Is it possible to set a fixed width on an HStack? Absolutely, Leprechaun. You can absolutely do that if you want to. You can set the width here to 2 and I'll break everything doing that. Yeah, so now we can only see this icon from the network, right? If I make it 4, we can see a bit more. Right, disregard this buggery bastard down there, right? We'll deal with him later. But you can absolutely do that. You can set a maximum as well. But right now, I don't love how this is done. So we're going to make these into spans. And we're going to have a text here that shows the label. So all this, if we ditch this thing for a second, we go to main. We're just going to load a template here. Meaning it has no component logic. What do we call that? Device. I think that's all we have to do, right? So instead of doing what we're doing here, where we have to fiddle with all these things, right? We can just use a device now. So here we'll use a device with a label of you and dev.data transmitted. Bam, broken. Oh, right, that's supposed to be the bytes. Whoops. Okay, and then we do another device here with this one, and that's received. Okay. Now we have to install this though, but we can see it here. So it goes between megabytes and kilobytes, right? We do this so we can restart it. There we go. So now we get to see the values in something a bit less dumb. But I am surprised that this thing is behaving the way it does from the restart. It's very confusing, but okay. Right. That's the networking thing done, right? So we're 2 hours in and we kind of got our functioning bar. And also some bugs to boot, right? Okay, so what's the issue? Well, what else do we need? Like, oh, we had like the system thing, right? The host. And we're not going to use memory refresh for any of that. So let's just find the host information, right? Might as well just go here. No. All right. So we got system name, kernel version, host name, and OS version. So name, string. Are they, so what are these things? The OS version is a string. All right. That's a maybe string, apparently. What was the other thing we had in there? Kernel. So we got name and host name and kernel version. Also maybe string. And a host name. Are all these optionals maybe? Yeah, why are they all optional? Can the name itself be optional too? Wow, okay. You know what? Why don't we just leave it as an empty string then? If we don't have it. We don't need it to be a maybe value. It's just for display purposes anyway, right? What do I think about printing? There's been a few things. A tray for the coffee machine needs to be printed soon as well, because the one that we have is getting a little bit too broken. I want to print something to encase my capture device because it's just hanging by cables, and there's a couple of brackets and stuff I want to do as well. And I think I'll need to like print these and try things out, which is why I wouldn't just send them off to have them printed. Take it easy, Nine Motion. Don't stress about things. Okay, can we do state.host name set to system.host name unwrap or empty? Okay, and why is there no host name there? Probably because we don't have anything here, right? The hostname function lives where? Refresh kind. It seems a bit silly to refresh a bunch of things to get. Like, this only needs to be done once, really. Yeah, we don't want to do that. Well, we can set the refresh frequency to be quite low, so we can compute that though. So how do we get the host name then? From a system what? All right, so we need a system for this. Hmm. Can we do that? Is this just going to be system host name then? No. But it looks like it. Oh. And we can do this when we mount the component. Instead of doing this every time it ticks. And then we can set the refresh frequency, which is 1 second to... We multiply that by 10. Well, if it's set to 1 second. Clever asshole name. We can have our own frequency. I'm getting that like weird dizzy spell in my head again. I don't know what that is, but it certainly isn't making me happy. It's making me rather cranky. Okay, so that's easy enough. So we have this at a refresh rate of 10 seconds instead. It can be more than that. It could be 60 seconds. It could be 60 minutes, right? It doesn't really matter what it is. Because it's so infrequently. Oh, I had one yesterday that made me stop streaming, but now I don't know what's going on. Why do we have name and host name? What's a name? Not trying to be Shakespearean here. What is this? Okay. Oh, right. So that's the OS name. Okay. And then we have the version. And then we have the kernel version. So this is all rather simple, isn't it? Could just have done like an update state instead. So the state has an update function. It kind of seems a little bit silly to do all this. Oops. So instead, we're just going to call state update here. No point in doing that over and over again, right? Hello, Danik. Isn't it OS name? Well, there seemed to be a mixture of OS name and whatever, right? Because yeah, I don't know what. It's not an OS name at all. System name. All right, we'll just rename you to name. I'm seeing things all the time. Don't worry about it. It's natural. Okay, so now we have the system information like this. And what do we call that one? Host. Which is not there yet. All right, there we go, right? We have the world's simplest and probably unique in no sense whatsoever implementation of a status bar with the goat going. I wonder if this guy has anything to do with it. No? I broke something, didn't I? There we go. Okay, let's just let's not do that. Oh, man, these two buttons shouldn't be next to each other, should they? Yeah, it still freaks out. Yeah, it's done some oddities with this now. I can't understand why that is, but that's okay. It's probably just a case of how we do all the whatchamacallit. You can't have two components with the same name. All right, so in our host, we have state.name. We should probably have this one first, okay? So there we go. And then we just shove everything to the right. I don't feel like I want the border on the right there. There we go. Okay. So what else do we have in there? Well, we can look at the host information that we have. We have state name. Is it an OS name as well? Every time we save it, this thing just climbs. Come on, man. I'm gonna kill that one for a second because it drives me nuts. All right, so we got name, we got host name. All right, so that's the host name. That's probably the thing that you want to see there. Then we have the OS version, which is rolling. That makes sense. Then we have the kernel version, which is there. Do we not have a better one for CPU or chip or... Yeah, I'm having a sandwich. Thank you. A sandwich is definitely the way to go. Can you stop typing the wrong thing all the time? There we go. All right. There we go. So that's a status bar in under 3 hours. 2 hours and something, right? 2 hours, 10 minutes or whatever to build a status bar. And I'd say that's pretty good. We should probably, like, these things are quite annoying when they're jumping, so let's make them not jump around so much. What happened there, man? Yeah, it keeps losing out on that one as well. There's something stupid going on here. I don't know what it is. Well, it's a bug. Yeah, I don't love these things either. I think we should have a better choice for that. But why is this thing freaking out every now and then? It shouldn't. Right? What has changed since, yesterday? Right? These issues are happening on both machines or both screens. Yeah. All right. I guess we got a bug to chase down. Man, I'm not going to get this freaking released, am I? Ugh. What has changed that makes this thing just not work? Maybe the memory should show the amount of memory out of something, right? That is such a shit thing, right? I can't figure out what it is. Thank. Anyway, yeah, there's obviously a bug there, but I think you can't really complain given how little time it took to build this thing. So I have to figure out what the bug is, but other than that, I think it's fine. We should swap the CPU um and the network around. Okay, that seemed to have fixed something else though. Huh. Hmm. Let's see if this thing works with this thing changing size. It kind of does. We should be able to say align that. Oh shit. Well, we could if we C-stack it. Outside of the H stack. Like that. And then of course this thing is still being a florp. Now it opened up correctly as well. So now Enrico should not move. There we go. Hello, Quantum Blaze. How you doing? Well, there we go. The status bar in under 2.5 hours at least, right? If I was speedrunning this, then I would be a bad speedrunner, I suppose. So yeah. What do we do now? I don't know how to answer that question. Are you asking about my editor or the language or? I'm unsure. Sorry, Quantum Blaze. But we could do way cooler things than this, obviously. We should probably... Well, I mean, we could have had like some bars and shit in there, right? And the sandwich doesn't make a lot of sense. The sandwich should definitely have been the bunny, shouldn't it? I mean, we have it sitting right there. I kind of feel like that was a missed opportunity, wasn't it? Let's go to the host. I'm gonna spend some time figuring out what the issue is with that. But yeah. Yeah, this is AML, Anathema markup language, which for some reason, for the first time in I don't know how long, is misbehaving. And that's really, really annoying. But this was easy enough to make. You know, we could probably min with the network stuff as well. But why is it flaking out? We should theoretically be able to add... No, all right. We're not going to complicate this, but we definitely could add icons up there and have them interactable. But I'm not going to do that. This was a status bar in under 2.5 hours, okay? We'll just leave it at that. I got to figure out why this is balked, though. I guess this will do as a demo, except it won't since it's, you know, misbehaving. Why is it though? All right, let's try this. Yeah, it does it no matter what we do. Not only that, but it seemed to be updating in the wrong position. It's like there's an old widget there? Why does it register the position wrong? Even if we resize it. What's the Rust way of formatting strings so there are leading or trailing spaces? Here. Let me do this. Why is this thing incorrectly positioned? There are no widgets there. There's no control flow as far as I know here. Is this some... Because this only seemed to affect this guy because it's changing in size. Let's do this. Okay. And there it just wipes. Oh, mate. Oh, I know what the bug is. You stupid freaking idiot asshole. Oh my god. There isn't a bug, or rather the only bug is in here, okay? Come on, brain. What do we specifically do in the netcode? We fill up the device list on mount, right? So we obviously have to unmount, or rather remove it when we unmount the component. God damn it. But that's a good way of testing if this thing actually works. Oh man, what a lemon. Where does that one go? State devices. We're holding it wrong. Okay. So assuming that this thing will panic now, we're gonna break this application by modifying the template. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. What a... Okay. Don't do it, brain. Okay. There we go. It's working now. Right? Nothing is broken. The only thing that was broken, it was in here. Alright. So every time we unmounted the components, or rather mounted the components, we would fill up the network device list. And every time we unmounted it, we did nothing. So we would remount it on save, and then, you know. This is unironically less boring. What do you have in your status bar that makes it a good status bar though, Robo? Because I am not a person with any kind of status, okay? I have some marital status with a body pillow, but that's about it. See, we can save and load these things as we want now. Let's open up the device one, since I'm not madly in love with the space there either. And I kind of feel like the label, we should have two labels. We should have a left label and we should have a right label as well. Okay, as you can see, it's broken, but it doesn't have to be broken. This is going to be our left label, and it just starts working, right? And this thing will be our right label. See, it looks way better. Now, I did break something else here. Bam, there we go, all right? Maybe we should put the label there. So we do away with you. We do away with your kind. That was an old song. Is that better or not? I don't know. Well, the chat, however, is just doing that to anything that is in uppercase, right? Now, you know, I don't love this right label business at all. Let's get rid of it. Now we can truly enjoy the benefit of what is Anathema here. You need to blink more frequently. Okay, we're gonna change you back to label again. I think a preferred label. Oops. You're welcome. Okay, so we want an arrow again. I think maybe up and down arrow makes more sense here. Why are there so many funky arrows though? And why can't we select them here? There we go. And then we're gonna set this one to be this here arrow. There we go. Nice. Now what do? We got a moderately boring status bar working. The only thing I use is the time. Oh, we forgot about time. Damn it. Oh yeah, so we can do on click events. We can do mouse click events on these things if we wanted to, but I don't know if that's a wise thing to do or not though. Wait, what? You use megabyte per second? to separate them. Oh, so that's your, is that your up or your down then? But you're right that it should be per second. Discord notifications. Oh, we could do that. But I think we should put time in there. Time seems más importante, no? So let's break this now up there with a time component. Wow, that shouldn't have happened, but okay. Oh, it's this song again. Okay. And let's make a new time.aml that just says time. Time, what is time? All right, well, before we start this up, let's actually make time a thing. Time cop. Oh man, I am getting really dizzy here, but that's fine. It's all part of the fun. Okay, and we're gonna have a we're gonna have the same update frequency. We do this like on a per second basis as well, right? And we're just gonna get the time, right? Hello, Bolvar, how you doing? How the fiddlestick are you doing, Squire? There's no new function here. We can just use default. Then we can change this to default. Time comp. Not to be confused with time cop. That's better. This thing complains that we don't have component implemented for time comp. So we shall do that immediatamente. That's going to be time state, which is now fine. I could be dehydrated. That could definitely be it. All right, hang on. Where's the status bar? Look at that. CPU, memory, IO. Oh, we don't have disk. Yeah, we can add the date though, right? You have bats in your house. Get rid of them. They will gnaw through the ceiling and eat your babies. This is not a true story. Okay, so tick. You know what? Let's just let's just copy the tick function here. That was nice and small. And then here we just need to update the time, right? Why are my babies in the ceiling? Because everyone's baby is that baby from Trainspotting, right? When he's having his sort of freaky thing going on. That scene kind of messed you up, right? Okay, so we need to know what the date is and how we're going to represent that. Now, we don't actually have a date. We don't have a date function in the template. So that probably would have been good to have. But since we don't have that right now, we're going to have minutes. That's kind of simple enough, right? Now, we don't actually have anything to look at the daytime. So we could use something like GIF for this, a Jiffy. Bum, ba-da-dum, ba-dum. Human time? Not on my watch. But what does system time give us? Yeah, let's just use Jiffy, shall we? All right. Let's just dump this in here. Oh, you ghoul. Here I was thinking it was a Jiffy, but it was a GIF instead. That's Jiffy D. Okay. Wait, no, this is the wrong Jiffy. Damn it. Come on. Jiff already. This is what I get for just copying shit from places. Can we get like current time or whatever? Oh man, it's like straight up human time in my brain right now. I don't know what's happening. Andrew, where's the documentation? Get current time in your time zone. Okay. Oh man, this is really cool. We could even do this, couldn't we? Where's UTC of all things? For some reason, I want that now. That has to be a UTC function, right? I just wanted to see what we can do with this other than just copy and pasting this. Try from create now system time. What else do we have? Monotonic time. Do we have moronic time? All right, let's look at what zoned now does. There's a now. Okay, maybe it's the zone thing that throws me a little bit here. Can we have like a time zone unaware thing? Zoned with time zone? Look at you being able to read all the way down there. So can we do with time zone? Can someone give me a time zone? Australia, Brisbane. Yeah, we can do that. Okay, so this one has to exist first. Can we make a new one then? So do we do now and then with time zone? Is that how we do it? Okay. All right, Brisbane does not exist. Yeah. All right. Oh, that's wild. How do we? So UTC has to be magical, right? Get. Okay, let's try get here. Okay. So this is a zoned. So can we get daytime? Well, that's the only way I'm gonna get a date this year. Okay. Woo. No method named daytime. What will you call then? Don't get away from me. Daytime. What did I write? Oh, date and time. You imbecile. Okay. All right. So what can we ask this fine thing? Civil data. There's nothing civil about this. Day. Well, we want the hour. We do want the minute too. Ah, those negative minutes. Minute. Okay. So we can then set our state dot update with this DT malarkey. Yeah. You have to be so mutable, you're going to turn blue. Okay, so then self.minutes.set format. And we're going to pass in dt.minutes. And for this to make sense, we have to pad this with 0. We have to say that it's too long and it has a 0 as the padding. I think that's right. And then we all get a little bit upset if it's not in the right order. Okay. Do we have time now, good sir? We're not gonna fit the time in there, are we? But that's all right. We're gonna have more space. Okay, so let's get the time in there. Let's put the time there. The time is the first thing now, just so we can see it. My goodness, I'm so happy I figured out what that stupid bug was. I have no idea what you're talking about, Bubbles. Lay off the crack, okay? All right, now we need a dumb thing. We need a watch or a clock. Ugh, I mean, that's kind of gross. But there we go, perfect. Do we not have a better unit of time? What is this? What language is this? This looks like something that's on the cube that takes you to hell, where the Cenobites are. Yeah, that's kind of better. Can we get this watch be somewhat usable, maybe? Maybe. I mean, it's a watch. What do you want, right? If you know this at your age, you need to go outside more. Yeah, there you go. See, Leprechaun knows about the true interest in this conversation. The Cenobites, who just the Cenobites just wanted to hang out. Right? It's not their fault that a stupid mattress and that idiot person was there doing the thing. Right? Okay. Whoops. I think I might have broken something. Okay, so how did I break this now? Oh, right. It's just the full screen thing. Should we put the time at the end of everything? There we go, right? And now if we don't want to see the seconds because it's annoying to see the constant update, there we are. Holy fitch, no way. How long have I been here? All right, hang on. Yeah. Yes. But I don't. Oh. Spaghetti-o. Not spaghetti-o, but spaghetti. Classic Monday, everything, right? But come on, we built a status bar in like under 3 hours. How is that not cool, right? Should we maybe be okay with making this the demo project then? Like, let's make this thing a little bit dark. Maybe not that dark. There we go. Can you make it show the title of the currently focused window? So we could definitely open up a socket to communicate with this over some kind of IPC. That would be reasonably trivial. Maybe we'll do that next time. But I feel like if I'm gonna do that now, I might just die a little inside. Yeah, I think so, Robert. It's a good demo to show what we can do. Although I just wish I had a better way of solving the coloring here. Skylar mentioned something, but I just don't have the brain pan space to deal with that. What about animation? Yeah, we could. I don't know what we would animate, but I guess we could build like an animation thing for this. But I think what I'll do is I'm gonna record this as a video now. I mean, we could benefit for some pretty colors, absolutely, right? The game of life. Well, then we have to add a canvas. I don't know what we would do with a canvas in there, though. Yeah, the canvas is gonna take up everything. So let's expand this. Otherwise, the canvas is gonna be a D-bag about the whole thing. I don't even know where this is now. There it is. Yeah, the canvas is everything. The canvas was everything up here, so we could have just drawn on top of that, right? We can add like sliders and stuff, but I don't think that's the right thing to do for this because I don't want to show off the input system for this. I want to make this as just the most basic non-input thing. All right, this thing is driving me a little bit crazy. That's better. Nah, now that being Gib isn't right. I don't want all this padding. This just made it horrible. Let's get rid of the padding. It's fine. Yeah, I think this is a good project because, you know, I can kind of go through this project reasonably quickly and show it off. There is no inputs in this right now. If we wanted to, we could add things like volume sliders. I think building a volume slider would be reasonably trivial. Because all we do is issue a command when you change the value. We could build a quit button in the top right corner. Why is the time 113? That's a very concerning time. Why did I see 113? All right. Yeah, I don't know why it said 113 there. That was a little bit sus. But so it's like 2 p.m. in Australia, Brisbane, right? Is that about right? I got a feeling that's not right. It's 4 minutes to midnight, 11:57 p.m. Yeah, that makes more sense. I don't know what we're watching here, right? Or maybe it fell back to UTC. That's probably UTC, right? All right, I don't know what to say other than hurrah. I got rid of the borders. Well, no, I didn't. I only have one border left. It's around the CPU, which is this one here. Oh, there should be one on the right-hand side. I do think you're right. Why is there nothing here? What's inside the CPU thing? Oh, it's a V-stack. Yeah, that shouldn't be there. But hang on, that's not right. Yeah, why is there no border there? Right and right. Or if we only have a right border? Is it the goat that's causing this? Wait, now we lost the other one. Now we have both of them there. Yeah, I think it's the goat that is somehow... Is this one of those beautiful Unicode errors? The goat is 2 cells wide. Can I get a bunny instead of a goat? Everyone knows bunnies are way more amicable to deal with. Yeah, it's the goat being a D-bag. Bloody D-bag goat. No, apparently not. What? All right, but this is good enough. We can deal with this after the fact, right? I'm going to go and space out now because I'm pretty hungry, and you guys need to go and throw bees at